Today's agenda is all about using File Manager on Windows 11. That is the file utility software, whatever you might want to call it, that's available on Windows 11. But Windows 11 comes with the built-in file tool. Macs come with a built-in file tool. Virtually every operating system you work with comes with a built-in file management tool. And Windows 11 is called File Manager. And it's available, it's built into the operating system. So it ships with every version of Windows that comes out. Windows 10 had a File Explorer tool. Windows 11 has a File Explorer tool, but they look different, from each other. So Windows 11 may not look as familiar to you as you're looking for, but I personally found that what Microsoft did was it made it faster to get to my files in using Windows 11 versus using Windows 10. That was just a personal experience that I discovered. Okay. So I'm going to share my Parallels desktop. I'm using a Mac with a version of Windows installed on it called Windows Pro, and it is running inside what's called a virtual machine. So one of the things that I see that you do not see is a little area up on top here that I'm going to scribble in. And I just want to point out that that's actually because I am running Windows within a window on my Mac. And that's one of the things that a virtual machine gives you the capability to do. Other than that, virtually everything I show you will be identical to what you would see on a Windows-only computer, with one other exception is that the Parallels does give me the ability to access Parallels gives me the ability to access my Mac-based files from within the Windows interface here that I'm using. So this is one of the backgrounds that are provided by Windows that you can get. It's a screen show that goes on, so I personalize my desktop a little bit. But if you look at the bottom on the taskbar, you'll see an icon for File Explorer. And this is where File Explorer is located. So if I launch this, it launches File Explorer. So it launches it and it brings up what is called the home view right away. So let's take a look at some of the navigation buttons that are available to us. I have a search box where I can search for files, and I have some navigation buttons here. Some are grayed out, and I'll explain that in a few minutes. There's a view, a filter, and three dots, which allows me to see more. And if I click on the three dots, it brings up many some other options that are available if I want to deal with my files in different ways. And an option to burn it to disk, selecting all, selecting none, inverting selection, and we'll take a look at that. There are some details that give me some information on what's in a single file or what's in the folder. And home is a folder that is created by Windows. It pulls everything in. Okay, so it's pulling things that are called quick access. It's pulling favorites. It pulls in recents, and it gives you the ability to see those quickly, because most of the time we want to get to things that we have used recently or use very frequently. And so home is one way to get to that. There's also a gallery, which has photos that are uploaded from your phone, computer, etc., because you can connect OneDrive, and the gallery is in OneDrive. You can connect your gallery so that you upload photos from various devices as you take pictures. And then you've got OneDrive. Now, there's little disclosure arrows. These are called disclosure arrows for navigation, and they're used everywhere these days. They're used on websites and other places. If you have a disclosure arrow that is pointing to the side and you click on it, it expands to show you folders that are in it or subfolders that are within folders. So the folder system and the file system on Windows and Mac computers works pretty much the same. There's called a path, and the path starts with your computer, and then it goes to the disk drive, and then it goes to specific folders or files that you might have. So if I go to a folder here in Documents and I open up something called, let's see if I've got books here. Let's take Audacity. There's nothing really much in there. And I go to an audio file. You can see how there is a path that was created in the navigation bar of the File Explorer. I have backup, documents, Audacity. So it tells me I'm in the Audacity folder. And you can see that some of these icons are now highlighted, which means they're functional, which I can use them, I can manage them in some way. So I can delete a file, I can share a file, I can rename a file. This is for copying and for pasting. I don't have anything copied yet, but if I copy a file, then the paste button becomes active. I can cut a file, or I can start a new file in the current location, a new item, if I want to. Now, the new item's kind of interesting. I'm going to actually change my folder here and go up to over to this PC and go to my local disk and go to users and go to Bob, and I'll go to Documents, okay, just to conveniently do something. So there's nothing in here right now because this is a pretty new PC. So I don't see that much in here, but I can drag and drop and create items in here. So if I went to New, it gives me the ability to create documents and files using my Microsoft 365 account. So if I wanted to create a new Word document, it automatically creates a file for that new Word document. I'll call this organizing files class, okay? And I'll hit return, and now it's created a new file for me. If I want to rename it, because I have a typo there, I can click on that. I can click in the cursor information and retype the name and rename it anytime I want to. So when I select the file, I have the ability to cut, copy, paste. If I've got something on the clipboard, rename it, share it, which gives the ability to share with other people that I've sent emails to, or share using my Outlook, Microsoft Outlook. And I can send it to share, I can share it or delete it if I want to. I can also change the view. Now, there's nothing in this file. Okay, it has no information, but if I hover over it, you'll see a little bit of information pops up about it. And that's true with any file you hover over. You can see the size, when it was modified, and any other information that might be in there about it. So there's some really nice nifty tools to be able to do this. Now, I created this file in Documents in the user Bob, local disk C, which is typically your local drive on this PC. So if I go to another folder, like my OneDrive here, which is where I keep most of my documents on my Windows settings here, I can see where there's a disclosure. I can go to Books and Materials, click on that. You'll see how the navigation got added. These are some handouts that I use for school classes. Now, one of the things that got added when I started looking at my OneDrive drive here is the status column. The status column has a couple of symbols in it. One of the symbols indicates whether the file is just kept in the cloud, that's the tiny cloud symbol, or whether it's in the cloud and kept locally on my PC. So when it has a checkbox like that, it's kept locally. Or just a cloud means it's only in the cloud. And if I want to, I'll show you this in a second. I can download it and determine where I want to keep it in the cloud. This little symbol of a person that's a figure, if I hover over that, it says it's available when online. It gives me the availability status, and it says the activity is that it's shared. When I teach my community education classes, I share these handouts with students that sign up for the classes, and they are able to access them in my OneDrive account because I send them a share link that they're able to use. If you look at this one, this app business class handout, current, it has no share button on it. And so it's not possible for anyone to get to it until I do share it, but it is kept locally. Now, if I select this folder here, and this can be a PDF, a Word document, any type of file that you can store in OneDrive. If I right click on it, I open up a menu. And the menu gives me some quick tools that you'll recognize from the top menu. Just saves me having to move my mouse from here up to here. Okay, I just right click on it. I can open the file, and it will open based on what software program I have set up or Microsoft Windows thinks should be used to open up that type of file. This is set up to open with Microsoft Edge because Microsoft Edge can open up PDF files. I can open with a different program by choosing a different program. So if I wanted to open it up with a PDF reader or like Adobe Acrobat Reader or another Adobe Reader, I could do that. I have a share icon here. I can add it to my favorites. I'm going to click that. Okay. Okay. And the window closes, but I'm going to right click again. I can compress it to a zip. I can copy the path, and I can look at properties to see how much information is in that file. It doesn't take up much space, 16.1 megabytes. It shows you where it is located. Bob, we typically our setup on Windows is that we are set up under the C drive. We're set up as users. I'm the user, and then it says OneDrive, which is the disk drive, and then the folder path that goes in there. And when it was created, when it was modified, and when it was last accessed. Okay, so I can look at properties on it and view properties. I can also choose to always keep it on this device. Now, if you look at the cloud symbol here versus the checkbox, if I right click and say always keep on this device, you're going to see that it's syncing. There's a little sync message, it's downloading, and now it is always kept on this device. Okay. Now, one of the reasons that it shows in green here and it is clear checkbox with here is that generally when you have Windows and you're not running it on a Mac like I am, when you click on a share, always keep on this device, it's going to use a solid green indicator. Because I have this file is actually kept on my Mac hard drive, it's why it has a white background in the checkbox. So I can tell the difference between files that I'm keeping in Windows and files that I'm keeping on my Mac, but most people won't ever encounter that. Okay, I'm going to pause for some questions and have a sip of coffee. So anybody have any questions at this point? I'm sure you have a few.
I
Carol?
didn't get what the green, the one you're pointing to. What does that do again?
The green circle with the checkbox, with a check mark, the green circle with a check mark will mean that you are keeping this file on your device and in your OneDrive folder. It's in both, it's synchronized in both locations. And any changes you make will be synchronized through OneDrive as well. If I wanted to, I could take this folder and say, I could look at show more options. Now, this is on my Mac, so I can't control it from Windows, but this one I set up on Windows, and I have the ability to choose free up space. Free up space means that it will not keep the file on my computer hard drive locally. It will keep it up in OneDrive. But as long as I have an internet connection, I can get to it. But if I wanted to make sure I could get to it without an internet connection, I would do that. That also has a little pop-up message that'll show you. And it's basically called Files on Demand. So you can see they show the checkbox here and the cloud symbol to help you understand that you are basically keeping your files in OneDrive, but when you want to keep them locally, you can right click and work. You can always double click and work on a file and open it, but you can also choose to keep it on your local drive anytime you want to, just by right clicking and selecting keep on this device. And OneDrive is available through the website, through a cloud. You can keep your OneDrive files synchronized on your Android or iPhone between Windows 10, Windows 11, Mac, any operating system where you can get to OneDrive. You can get to OneDrive on the web. So if I want to view it online, I can choose to view it online, and it'll open up with any app that I want to choose to use it with. Okay, and I'm going to use Microsoft Edge. It's going to take me to my OneDrive account and ask me to sign in. And I haven't signed in on this Windows computer yet, but I have signed in on my Mac. And once you sign in, it's synchronized across all of your devices. And again, you can see that I've got a file selected, so I do have these options available for me to share, delete, rename. If I have something on my clipboard, I can copy and paste. So one of the things you can do is you can copy and paste files from one location to another location. So if I go to another location, say on my local disk, and I go to users, and I go to Bob, and I go to documents, and I click on paste. I'll click on paste here. I hope it'll do it. Yeah, it's going to paste it in that location. This destination already has. Well, I won't worry about that. I'll just use it in this situation like here. But you can
Hey, Bob.
obviously move it back and forth, copy and
Bob?
paste. Yeah, Carl.
You see the blue folders there, downloads, documents, pictures, just to your
Yes.
left. Yeah. Click on documents. Just click on that for a second. Okay. So your documents in C is not a mirror image of your documents in OneDrive. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, OneDrive is located up here. Your documents here are the documents that are on your computer.
Like I thought, you see, when you went down to that C drive, further down this PC, yeah, I thought your documents was a mirror image going back into the what do you call it, OneDrive, but it isn't.
No, and
And that confused me because I thought it was automatically all my documents on my C drive are being copied up into. I had it wrong for years.
Yeah. Your OneDrive can make a mirror of things if you want it to, and synchronize different things. But if I look at my tech topic slides here and things that I've used, this is in OneDrive here. And
so documents in OneDrive. The other one is documents on your C drive.
Correct.
And they're two different things.
They're two different locations, right?
But you can make your documents on your C drive mirror into OneDrive if you wanted, right?
You can synchronize them, yes.
Okay.
And you can also download and utilize the OneDrive app on Windows if you want to, which gives you another way to view your information. Instead of OneDrive, if you download the OneDrive app, instead of it going to home when you open up File Explorer, it'll go to OneDrive directly because all it is OneDrive at that point. So OneDrive is like literally having like think of it as having an external drive connected to your computer that's run by Microsoft in the cloud.
So what's the difference between OneDrive in home and OneDrive in one? And I thought
It won't see home in the OneDrive application.
oh, okay.
You'll only see home in File Explorer because home includes everything. Okay, so you can see it actually gave me quick access to this file folder, but it's in the cloud.
Okay.
Okay, and I've got, it tells me these are documents stored locally, pictures stored locally, videos stored locally, music stored locally, downloads stored locally. So things that are local will be indicated here, but they can all be, but home will include what's local and what's in the cloud for you. And it includes favorites. You remember, here's the Blogging for Fun and Profit handout that I made a favorite. Now it shows up here. Now it shows up in my favorites list, whether it's in the cloud or whether it's on my local computer. Favorites is favorites in the home view. So what Windows 11 does is it integrates your local drive and your OneDrive into one view when you're looking at it through home.
Okay.
So
So
that makes
Bob,
sense?
just move up to documents there, just a little bit up. No, no. Oh, right. Go to the right. Documents. Click on that. Oh, that's all your documents. That's not the C drive. Okay. Wow.
These are the documents that are stored locally on my C drive. These are not OneDrive documents.
Okay.
These are not in OneDrive. So the idea behind home is that I can look at documents that says stored locally.
I only thought you had one document there
No, there's documents under OneDrive Personal here. And you can see there's Bobology at the top here in the cloud. GSU classes, LW, American Latino Club, these are all cloud files. If I go and I can open up a new tab, which is kind of cool too, and then I minimize OneDrive, but I go to my documents here, the first thing is Adobe.
Yeah.
Whereas if I'm looking at it here, it's Bobology. So they're actually documents in the cloud, and you have documents on your local drive.
Okay.
And one of the great things about File Explorer now is the ability to use tabs. It opens up like a web browser that you can start to expand the number of tabs you look at indefinitely to look quickly and move between documents. When you open up a new tab, it's going to open up home as opposed to opening up a specific disk drive.
Mm-hmm. Wow. I thought I knew it, but I don't.
They moved a lot around about 2 months ago, Carl. They moved a lot around about 2 months ago. Okay, so let's do something that's kind of interesting here. Let's go to a folder that has some things in it that might be worth checking out. Let's go to books, works, books, materials, and let's go to cover artwork. Okay, you can see that this is displaying icons of various files. Okay, and I can change the view and layout of how I look at files in any folder that I want to. I can make them extra large. which makes them really big. Sometimes people like that. Or I can make them small icons where I have a lot of them fitting together. Or I can put it in a list. Or I can put details where it shows columns of information, including the status, the date, the type of file, and the size of the file. Or I can look at it as tiles, or I can look at it as what they call content, which shows different ones and it tells you a little bit of information. So they have quite a number of ways you can view the information here. Now, one of my favorites is details, but showing the preview pane. I'm going to expand this a little bit for you. So if I have the preview pane open here and I look at an image like this, it's going to show me the file I've selected with the details and a preview of what that file looks like on the right.
I think Microsoft copied that from Apple, you know? What do you think?
I don't know who had it first, Carl.
I think Apple had it first, but I'm
Preview.
not sure.
Yes. But I can look at any of these files, and if it is capable of displaying a preview of the image, it'll display a preview of it for me in the preview pane. Now, some types of files it can't display, so sometimes it may not display the information as a preview, but typically any Office document, it'll display the Office document, so you can organize your files pretty quickly and see, well, was that the right one? By having the preview open, you're able to view it very quickly. And you can close the preview pane just by clicking on preview here if you want to in the upper right. You can search within any folder you want to, or search your entire hard drive if you want to. And again, in the view, you have the ability to show items, whatever you may want to show in different organization tools, item checkboxes, file name extensions. I don't have file name extensions displayed here, for example, but if now there are displayed. Okay, so you can drag a column over. And so generally the details view will tell you what the dot extension is for that file so that you can see what type of file it is. So if you're looking for, say, an image and you had it named both a PNG and a JPEG file, you could very quickly see which one was the JPEG and which one was the PNG and choose the right one. You can also organize these files by clicking on the top, and it'll organize them by alphabetical in name, by status, by the dates. You can go to date, from most recent to oldest. You can organize it by type, by size. And you can also give a file a tag if you want to try and make it easier for you to find certain types of files you work with. You can give them a tag if you want to work with them too. So this is there's a little icon here, display information about each item in the window, or display items using large thumbnails. You can quickly shift between views in the lower right now without having to select the view column and change it if you're interested. Anytime you have an image that you find that is a picture type image, it allows you to set that image as the background if you want to. Anytime you see that. And you can also select the three dots, and that gives you your selections again. Okay, you can choose to view properties, options, to change settings for how you open items and work with them in different ways too. And then if you're, say, gee, I really want to work with this file that in this view, or a file that's in this view, you can very quickly switch back and forth to each one, whichever you prefer doing. And then back to the home view will show us everything, but some of these things might be, it might change more recent ones, okay, that we have here because it's going to understand what I've worked with recently. Now, one of the things that Windows 11 does that's kind of nice is that if you open the Start menu, it does give you some information about some recent items you may have opened up as well under the recommended that you have. So you can look at those and open them up quickly right from the Start menu without necessarily having to go to File Explorer to look at things. And obviously, if you hover over File Explorer, if you're using another application and you want to see what's File Explorer, you'll get a pop-up in the task from the taskbar if you hover over the taskbar of what's in that view. So another way to work with it, and of course, just like any other window, you have the ability to organize your windows on your desktop using the organization tools that are available with the Windows icon here. So if I wanted to make this full screen, or if I wanted to make it, fill a part of the screen, I can do it with any of these views by selecting them and moving back and forth between them. This used to take a little while to do on my Mac, my other Mac. This has become much more responsive, moving between windows using the Windows virtual machine. So another way to look at your information, you can obviously get to disks on the network, attached disks that you may have. I have files that are on a external hard drive that I have here. So I have files that are backgrounds that I used for various types of activities. Let's see if we can get the preview here. So just different files that are available for me to access and use whenever I want to. And I can keep them on an external drive, or I can keep them on my C drive, or local drive. I can keep them in the cloud. And obviously, again, when I go to home, I have access to most everything that I want to get to. It'll show me quickly what's available. So another way to look at them and view them, and you can filter by types of files. So let's see, I think I've got a folder here. Let's go to something where I have a lot of different types of files here. If I wanted to filter by different types of files here, I have the ability to filter them based on what I might want how I might want to organize them, whether they're a JPEG or PowerPoint or any other resource. I can choose to filter files in that way if I want to filter them. So if I wanted to filter, just show me Word files, it'll show me Word files. If I want to filter to PowerPoint, it'll just show me PowerPoint files. So it's really quickly and powerful to be able to organize, and it'll choose images, videos, as well as PDF files. I don't know why the filter view shows up in some views and not in others, whether it's something that's characteristic of just home, because I don't see it when we go to my OneDrive. For some reason, I don't see the ability to filter it here for some reason, only when I'm looking at the home view. Now, organizing files and putting them into folders is really important. I put files into different folders based on the topic, but also based on the time and date that I do things. So when I keep track of my slides and videos here, for tech topic presentations, I use the year, the month, and the day that I have the folder created for. I don't worry about the individual files that are in the folder so much anymore. I think about more the actual folder name that I want to create, so that these are organized and sortable very quickly by date. So these are when I started doing the tech topics on Tech Explorer Community. But if I want to see the most recent ones, I can go to the most recent ones and ones that have no name on them at all. So I already have a folder for today's 2023 11/16 files on Windows 11. But I also have some other folders here that don't have a date and a time on them, and some that are disordered. Now I can drag a file from one location into a folder just by dragging and dropping. Yeah, Carl. You're muted, Carl. Go ahead and unmute.
Gee, I keep forgetting.
know.
Go to the home thing, home.
Go to
on
home
the,
again.
on the left side, that where you saw, yeah, go to home, go there. Okay, now you see that folder called Documents? Is that C/OneDrive/Documents, or is that C/Documents?
It is C/Documents.
Not C/OneDrive/Documents.
No,
Okay.
OneDrive will be different from C, I think.
Okay.
So
Okay.
let's go to, it says start backup. I'm not sure, this is, they have a tool here that encourages you to use OneDrive for backup.
Yeah.
But if I go to personal here, you see it'll say OneDrive right away.
Okay. So go back to the home for a sec, Bob.
Right.
Okay. So you said that Documents was C/Documents and not C/OneDrive/Documents, right? They're two
Right.
different things. Okay.
Right.
So when you download a file from the cloud, you created a file up there in the cloud and you downloaded it. Then when you downloaded it, it goes to C/OneDrive/Documents.
Actually,
it doesn't go to C/Documents.
It goes to C/OneDrive. A OneDrive
Okay.
folder is created in your C drive that synchronizes with OneDrive in the cloud.
Okay.
So it doesn't go into the separate documents folder. It goes into C/OneDrive.
That took me 2 years to figure out. Now, the other thing is gallery. You see the gallery there?
Yes.
Now, I got a Samsung phone, and I guess I'm connected with OneDrive somehow. Anyways, when I take a picture, it goes to the gallery. And when I take a screenshot from my phone, it also goes to the gallery. Is that right?
Yes.
Both. Okay, got it.
Yeah, this is a screenshot, for example, that I took on my phone, and it got uploaded to my gallery. Now it says it's in C users Bob OneDrive pictures camera roll.
Right. So gallery is two things. It's pictures that you actually took, and it's also screenshots that you took on your
On your phone, right? Because
or I think on your computer.
Right, because pictures will, anything that's an image will get saved into your gallery.
Even a screenshot I do on my PC.
I'm not positive about that,
Okay.
if it saves it into your gallery or not, but I know screenshots you do on your phone go there.
Okay. Okay.
And then you can, I have an iPhone, so it sets you want to set up your iPhone's camera roll to show in gallery, but I already am sending my photos from my iPhone up to gallery in OneDrive. Okay, so they get added there, and they're organized by date, so I can see everything that I've taken screenshots of here, or have taken a photo of. So it's keeping things straight is helpful. Like if I want to take this and I want to remove a change, if I want to free up space, but it's still in a favorites. Okay, it's still a favorite, so I can remove it from favorites and it won't show up in that list anymore of favorites. So favorites is a way, think of it like bookmarking a web page. if you want to bookmark a web page and get to it quickly. It's a way to get to files quickly that you work with frequently on an ongoing basis. So if you're working on a project, writing a book, working on a PowerPoint, it's easy to use it that way to get to it. But it will show you everything, including what's on home. Will show you your local drives, your local files, because it says stored locally means it is on the hard drive on your system. If it is in the cloud, it'll show up with a cloud icon. So this entire folder says availability available when online. I can keep on this device if I want to, and that'll download the entire folder. So you can choose whether you want to use it in a folder, keep a folder on your device, or just keep individual files on your device. And it's just a matter of whether or not you think you would have the internet connection to get to that file when you need it, as to whether you would keep it in the cloud all the time or whether you would keep it on your device. So just a lot of powerful tools that are available for organizing and working with files on your PC to be able to get to anything you might want to. I mean, I haven't downloaded too many things, but it shows me software I've downloaded on my local drive, because downloads come to your local drive. So there's an image here that I used for my most recent article, JPEG file. I can see all the documents I have locally on my drive, any pictures I've got in my local drive files, music that I've got, videos that I've got. And then I do have an iCloud drive on my Mac. Parallels gives you the ability to access your files on your Mac anywhere you have them located. So it's easy to work with. So it's a convenient way for organizing and accessing files. And again, I get to the external drives as well. Whatever I might have here is available. And so I can get to anything I might be interested in finding. And it says this PC. You can see I'm on this PC now, and I'm connected to a local drive, whereas I'm on OneDrive, and I'm in my personal file here if I want to view that. So, and I can go back and go backwards, as you know, to the end of where I can limit of where I can find the drive itself. Now, obviously, if you are working in an application like Word and you open up Word or PowerPoint, it'll show you the different documents that you've been working with and the most recent ones you've worked with. So you don't have to use File Explorer. You can actually find them in your apps as well. And then you'll have a little OneDrive symbol here that'll give you the ability to view information quickly and access it. And it'll tell you your files are synced, which means that everything you've chosen to synchronize between your computer and OneDrive are synchronized as well.
Bob, does it have a button that says Sync Now? I was always looking for a button that says Sync Now.
It automatically syncs.
Okay. Okay.
So so when you have OneDrive set up, it will automatically sync as soon as you make a change. That's why I can go into this file here, right click on it, and say always keep on this device, and it'll change it, you know, to always keeping on this device right away. Now this is in my Mac, so I can't manage it from here, but in Mac folders, in Windows folders, I have the ability to do things. So if I go to a cloud document and go to something up here and take a file from cover artwork, and I say, okay, I want to make this available on this device, I have the ability to do it. You can see the little sync symbol. It syncs right away. I'll click on it again, watch the cloud, and you'll see it sync. And it's fast, depending on your internet connection, it's really fast. And if I change it, it's going to make the changes up right away. Okay. So it's syncing all the time. It uses some of the internet connectivity bandwidth. So if you're doing something really intense, maybe you're downloading or streaming a video or something like that, it may not always update things right away. So the synchronization uses a certain amount of your internet bandwidth, but you can see it's synchronizing, and it will keep things up to date for you automatically. There is no sync now button that you can use on OneDrive. It'll usually indicate that it's up to date with the icon in the taskbar. You'll see a little rotating synchronization symbol that'll show that it's synchronizing while it's synchronizing, but you don't have to do anything to synchronize with OneDrive.
So Bob, just go back to that screen. You had one with a dark green circle and one didn't have a dark green circle. What's the difference?
The difference is whether it's on my Mac hard drive or whether it is contained within Windows.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So those, because I am using essentially two operating systems on my same device, and OneDrive is intelligent enough to know that I've got a file synchronized with my Mac's hard drive as opposed to synchronized within Windows on the hard drive.
Okay.
You can actually tell the difference between the two, which is pretty intelligent. So nice resources, ability to manage the view, choose your favorite view for whatever you like viewing, whether you like viewing things as icons, lists, tiles, details, whatever might be most relevant to you. Take advantage of the other functions. If you wanted to pin a file or a folder, if you're working with a folder a lot. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, you can pin to quick access. I think you can drag this down now and set it up so it's available in your taskbar, but not sure you can do that. I think there is a way to do that, but I haven't found out how to do that yet. So lots of nice little tools, but don't worry about these menus being grayed out. That means that you just haven't you haven't selected a file that you're working with to be able to utilize those capabilities. And you can see that since I downloaded it from Windows onto my Windows hard drive, essentially it's a solid green dot as opposed to a white one that's transparent like this one here.
Okay,
So,
here's the $1 million question, Bob. Go to this PC on the left. Okay, now where's your C drive? There it is. Can you move that whole C drive into OneDrive? That's the $1 million question. Can you take that C drive, my local C drive, and I want a copy of it in the cloud in OneDrive? Can you just say, I want this whole, whatever's there to be in OneDrive? Can you do that? I don't think so, but I'm just asking.
no, you can't do it for the entire C drive.
Only for folders. Only for folders.
Only for folders.
Okay.
Only for folders, right. Right. Now, so if you've got a folder in your documents here and you want to upload that to your C drive, to your OneDrive, you can.
Yeah.
But you can't take the actual C drive itself and copy everything on it up to your OneDrive.
Right.
But and there are tools. If you go to the system settings here, And if you go to backup, let me try backup here. You can set up OneDrive folder syncing. And that's in settings and account Windows backup. And if you set up syncing, here's the list of folders that you can choose to back up to OneDrive with this PC. And so it'll back up documents, pictures, desktop. Those are actually preset. I did not have to set those up. I can add music and video if I choose to. And then it'll back it up to OneDrive. And if you're curious about what folder backup does, it will open up and explain it, what it does. You can use it for Windows or Mac as well, which is kind of interesting. And it basically will back up an entire folder or synchronize them and keep and use it as a backup. So you don't really need a external hard drive if you don't want to, but an external hard drive is convenient for the purpose of being able to get backups restored very, very quickly if you want to.